We'll be your net control for this Saturday Night Trivia Net number 103. This is a directed net, so all traffic should go through net control. Does anyone have any emergency traffic that will be to the start of the net? Trivia. One random question we read over the air to each person who checks in. You'll have 3 answers to select from. And the question of the night is, which animal do you think best represents your personality? Which animal do you think best represents your personality? Now, Gleason, if you did this on your net, I apologize, but it's a good question, so I like it. Anyway, if you checked in so far. MIK Mike in San Diego, KK7 HLD David Portland, Oregon. I'll check in by email. And we have KI7ZRI Don in Kennewick, Washington via the text line, as is KD5AJZ, Alex in Pasadena, Texas, KF6HTJ Brent in Pensacola, Florida, K8 BYU Roy in Blasdell, New York, KD6CIR West in Grants Pass, Oregon, KK7 NXV Timothy in Tulsa, Oregon, KD4BUT Grayson, and as well as Patrick in Beaverton, Oregon, KI7LAG, KN6JLW, KN6JLX, Stephanie and Larry in Elk Grove, California, N7FGP, Scott in Houston, KK7AVK, Victoria in Phoenix, AC4BR, Brian in Monticello, Kentucky, KO4RCS, Rich in Meadow Lakes, Alaska, K2FZA, John in Buffalo, New York, and that's what we have for the next check-ins. Anybody else want to join us? Full call time, medically, property. Ray in Cody, Wyoming. Good evening. Whiskey Delta 8, Papa India Charlie. Whiskey Delta 8, Papa India Charlie. Welcome back to the WD8PIC KJ7RVB Ray and Cody, Wyoming, KK7OGC Fred in Reno, and anyone else, try it again. We're having a little trouble with our connection tonight, and come now, full call sign phonetically. Twice, please. Okay, hope we'll get everything ironed out. We also have KU2AUM, Luis in Bronx, New York. Where else? And KU2FZA. Also checked in. Let's take it to the top. All right. Question of the night. Oh. Let's try to have the right one.
Here I am, Alex. Howdy there. As always, excellent question. Well, you could compare me to being a fish because I'm very slippery. I go from the left to the right, like a flat side at the eating out.
Thank you, George. Okay. Fish. Fish it is. George, your question is, besides being able to sniff out illegal drugs and detect cancer in people, dogs can also detect A, a pile of garbage they can roll in over 5 miles away, B, smartphones, or C, how much dogs a person has in their home.
I'll go with A. Alex, thanks for doing the night. It's always good to hear your voice. Have a good one. And howdy to the East Coast Reflector. Here to FTI, Border on 73. Back to net control.
Actually, we probably can make a pile of garbage. Sniff out smartphones, B, yeah. Or the cards, any chemical, airport to airport, illegal cell phones. You know, I heard the guy who invented the autocorrect for smartphones passed away today. May he restaurant in peace. Thank you, George. Little Al, Monterey, California, N6 MOT. Hey, Little Al, well, which animal do you think best represents your personality?
Well, Little Al here, N6 MOT here in Monterey. The animal that represents my personality, I would say a bull. Because I'm always knocking stuff over and breaking something. So that's not the bull. Or pit bull. Anyway, very quick question.
All right, your question, Little Al. The 1952 sci-fi movie Zombies of the Stratosphere, I'm sure you've seen it, featured this 21-year-old actor playing an evil Martian named Narab. Was that A, Leonard Nimoy, B, John Wayne, C, Orson Welles?
Oh, I'm going to go with Leonard Nimoy. Why not? You got A, right? Leonard Nimoy. Anyway, have a good rest of the evening, and back to you, Alex.
Very good. Well, you probably older than 21 in 1952. That was Leonard Nimoy, born in 31. Both Wayne and Wells were early part of the 19th century or the 20th century. So, thanks, buddy. You got it. Mike in San Diego, KN6, MIK. Mike, which animal best fits your personality?
Good evening, Alex. KN6 MIK, Mike in San Diego. Great question as usual. I'm going to have to go with what the wife always accused me of, being the old lone wolf until I'm needed. Next question, Alex.
Bullet is, I was going to what the wife called his donkey, okay? All right, Mike, your question is, shopping malls originally come from A, the bazaars of ancient Rome, B, a 16th century Italian game. Or C, Southern California. Oh, where you are, what do you say, Mike?
I got one back of my head, but I'm going to have to go with Alpha. It's my day.
You know, actually, all come from B, a 16th century Italian game. Palamaglio was a croquet-like game played in the streets and alleys of Rome and other cities. When the British adopted the game, they changed the name to Pall Mall and set aside long grassy areas to play it called malls. And these started attracting merchants, selling their wares, and the first open-air shopping malls were born. So, by the way, thanks to George JR2FJI for that question. Hey, George. Disappearing Dave. Try it again. K7HLD. Area that. K7H.
Back to you there, and thanks to our wonderful logger as well, KK7HLD.
Okay, Dave, yeah, we're having problems with loss tonight. If you give me the animal one more time, I'll give you your question. Hopefully we'll get this out. Does the direction a dog's tail wags have any meaning? Does the direction a dog's tail wags have any meaning? A, no, it's a dog. B, which means they have positive feelings. And you go back to the right, good feelings. Obviously, they wag to the right, they have positive feelings. And to the left, negative feelings. What's your analysis, Dave?
Well, connection issues. Hopefully this gets through. I was saying a cat, a big cat like a mountain lion, because usually I'm sleeping and then I get up and do the question, which dogs tell the way to think.
It is, right, what was the trigger response to the question?
Yeah, I didn't catch any of that. I'll just say B to get the thing rolling along. B for Bravo. Always have a great day. KK7HLD.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. It's a wag to the left means the dog has positive feelings about you, and a wag to the right, negative feelings. I think it's your face in the top of the they got to go different. We can't do dogs. In Ugly Dog contest, and I won first place. My dog came in third, though. Thanks, Dave. Don, Kennewick, Washington, KI7ZRI. Don, which animal do you think best represents your personality?
Well, hey there, Alex, and everyone on net. This is Don, KI7ZRI. I would say Sasquatch, because I like to run around the woods naked, and I am hairy like animal.
Okay, Continue to be used in neighborhoods across the country. Besides forcing people to slow down, they A, have led to 65% fewer pedestrian accidents on neighborhood streets. B, are providing employment for road crews who usually just stand around most of the day. Or C, they prevent emergency vehicles from reaching their destinations fast enough, killing as many as 85 people for every life they save. Which of those is the true one?
I have to go with Charlie with that because it's a government mandate and all those always work out. They should be doing it at SWL.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, those speed bumps, the emergency vehicles and responders hate them because they prevent them from reaching their destinations fast enough, killing as many as 85 people for every life they save. I'm reasonably sure landmines have a better ratio than that. Thanks, Don. This is W7FTM. You're listening to the East Coast Reflector Saturday Night Trivia Net. And we're going next to Alex in Pasadena, Texas, KD5AJZ. Alex. All right, which animal fits your personality?
I had all kinds of answers to that originally, and I X'd them all out because I don't think our rating's good enough for that. We'll go with owl, inscrutable, and that kind of thing. We'll stick with that one. What's my question, Alex?
Well, actually, I have the wisdom of an owl. Usually get these questions right, so now I put you on the spot. Let's see. See how you do with this one. How far back does the following size comparison go? The following size comparison, how far back? But you shall speak to them, for my little finger is thicker than my father's loins. Is that from A, the Old Testament, B, the Kama Sutra, or C, Shakespeare's Hamlet?
That's going to be a straight-out guess, Alex. Let's go with C, because that's just weird enough to be true. Love the net as always, Alex. Have a great evening. KD5AJZ, let me know how I did.
Yeah, I don't think I read Hamlet all the way through either. It's, that saying, but you shall speak with him, for my little finger is thicker than my father's loins, goes all the way back to A, the Old Testament. 1 Kings, chapter 12, verse 10, if you want to look it up. So, men have been bragging about their size for very long, so to speak. Thanks, thank you, Alex. Brent in Pensacola, Florida, KF6HDJ. Brent, which animal best represents your personality?
Well, good evening, Alex, Vicky, and the rest of the net. I'd have to say the cat. While I do enjoy the company of people and good food, I still like to remain alone and aloof. Back to you for my question, Alex.
And cat it is. All right, Brent, your question is, besides the obvious parts, during pregnancy, this body part of a woman can increase 1 full size. A, her little finger. B, her feet, or C, her bottom. Careful, Brent.
Let's see. I'll have to go with feet, which I believe is Bravo. Sounds logical due to hypertension. KF6HDJ.
Sounds like you may have been there and done that too. Oh yeah, they got bigger. Yeah, her feet. Yeah, they can increase 1 full shoe size. Well, only while she's pregnant, then goes back to normal afterwards, I guess. Like you said, plus maybe balance too. It might help the extra weight. I don't know. Thank you, Brent. Roy in Blasdell, New York. K8 BYU. Roy, which animal do you think best represents your personality?
Me, a cat. Like the two that are sitting here with me now, one in my lap and one on my arm.
And they're telling you, pay attention to me, use the radio on your own damn time. Yep, I know. All right, Roy, your question is, in 2017, this prank voicemail message was left on Queen Elizabeth's answering machine. Hey, what's up? This is Liz. Sorry, but I'm away from the throne. For a hotline to Philip, press 1. For Charles, press 2. And for the Corgis, press 3. Who put the message here? A, comedian Ricky Gervais, or Gervais. B, Prince Philip, or C, Prince Harry.
I'm gonna go with Harry. Sounds like something he might pull. K8 BYU.
Oh, sorry, a little bit of interference. Which one?
It sounds like something he might pull.
Well, that would be Harry. Actually, yeah, Prince Harry did that. Yeah, my favorite royal, by the way. Although I heard he's leaving the royal family for good to become a painter. He's going to be the artist formerly known as Prince. Sorry. Wes in Grants Pass, Oregon, KD6EIR. Which animal do you think or best represents your personality, or as Ian Anderson might say, I'm a tiger when I want love, a snake when I disagree. I sound just like him. What do you say, Wes?
Yeah, you sound just like him. I'm neither of those anymore. I was thinking magpie, because I tend to be chatty, and I don't really, I'm kind of, I don't know, disagreeable at times. But now I think I'm probably closer to a lemming at this point. Oh, I know. So what's my question, Alex?
Poor little animals. I won't go in there. So there you go. Wes, your question is, every minute you shed over 30,000 of these. A, dead fleas. B, dead bacteria. C, dead skin cells.
Dead skin cells. Yeah, I took anatomy and physiology only 5 or 6 years ago, so I'm pretty sure it's skin cells. Anyway, thanks for doing the net. Hello, everyone. Weston Grants Pass, KD6EIR, back to you.
And you are correct, yeah, it's skin cells. The older you get, though, the fewer you shed. So I can count my shed skin cells on one hand. That's, of course, that'd still be a lot of them, but thanks, Wes. Timothy in Tillamook, Oregon, KK7NXV. Which animal best represents your personality, Timothy?
This is KK7NXV. I would probably go with the cat, much for the similar reasons as the previous one. Kind of aloof and like doing my own thing.
Yeah, looks like cat's taking the lead tonight. Your question, though, is a tree that was planted in Los Angeles in memory of Beatle George Harrison died a few years ago because A, it was struck by a driver who was high on drugs, B, it didn't survive the California drought. Or C, it was infested with beetles. Which was it, Timothy?
For as much as I would like to think that it's Charlie, I'm going to go with Alpha.
That'd be kind of ironic, wouldn't it? That, actually, it was Charlie. Yeah, it was the tree they planted in memory of George Harrison and died after it was infested with beetles. Now, yeah, he enjoyed gardening. That's why they planted a tree in his name. It's irony and full tilt there. Thanks. Thank you, Timothy. It's a W7FTM along with Vicky, K8VKY, and you're listening to the Saturday Night Trivia Net on the East Coast Reflector, and we're going to Grayson, our Usenet controller in Orlando, Florida, KG4BUT. Grayson, which animal best represents your personality?
Thank you, Alex, to have me on this net. I will probably have to go with pig because, you know, ham comes from pigs and, you know, we're all hams.
KC7,
Okay, got you down, buddy. Thank you. And your question is, hey, doesn't that charbroiled meat in those restaurant commercials look good? What do advertisers normally use on the meat to give it that charred look? A, black pepper, B, black paint, or C, black shoe polish? What do you say, Grayson?
Oh, I actually had a video one time on my feed that had, like, how ad commercials, like, guys got, like, businesses hire them to make the food actually look good, and the food to look bigger. I believe it was C. Thanks for having me on this net. So please.
KK7, YBP.
Yeah, that would be black paint. Almost, it's black shoe polish is what they put on the charbroiled meat. Now, let me go on the record and say I don't ever think using polish for a black face, even on your meat, is a good idea. So thank you, Grayson. That was a tough one. And the station coming in there, come again, please. We're doing a net. Can we help you though?
Oh, I was just trying to join the net. KK7, YBP.
Okay, no problem. We're almost through with this one group, and we can check in later. And I think Vicky's got your calls planned out now, so we'll get you in there. So thanks for joining the net. But we're going next to Robert in Kelly Ridge, Australia, VK2DY. Which animal do you best think represents your personality? Robert, any Australian animals at all? Wombat, Tasmanian devil, anything like that?
Hi, good afternoon, Alex. This is Robert, VK2DY. I thought about magpie, but I'm too lazy to swoop people, so let's go with quokka. Quokkas, they're always smiling on the outside, but you never know what's going on the inside. So let's go with a quokka. That's Quokka. And I think you've got them in zoos in North America. Anyway, VK2DY.
Yeah, no problem. Vicky and I both know how to spell quokka. That's all right, Robert, your question is, if you need quick relief for a toothache, one of my grandma's remedies, if you need quick relief for a toothache, A, be a man, save money, and pull the tooth yourself. You should have all the tools you need in your toolbox. Come on now, man up. And B, stick a needle in the bottom of your left foot between the big toe and the ball of your foot. Kind of your own, the thing with the needles. Or C, put an ice cube on your hand. Which of those will give you quick relief from a toothache?
Right, that's an interesting question. B and C sort of going at the same thing, except, yeah, I gotta make a choice, don't I? Let's get Ice Cube, C. BK2DY.
Yeah, you probably don't want to do your own acupuncture, but the ice cube, yeah, just stick an ice cube. Rub the ice cube on the back of your hand between the thumb and the index finger, and that will reduce toothache pain until the frostbite sets in, but then, that's another problem. But yeah, it works. There's a nerve there. If you massage it or use the ice cube, which is even better, it'll relieve that toothache pain temporarily. Thanks. Thank you, Robert. Patrick, Beaverton, Oregon, KI7LAG. Which channel best represents your personality? Patrick?
Good evening, Alex. This is Patrick, KI7LAG. I've been compared to a grizzly bear more times than I care to consider, so yes, a grizzly bear. Go ahead with your question.
Grizzly, you still have them in Oregon, don't you? I think they kill all of them in California, but got your grizzly bear down. Patrick, your question is, another home remedy, or natural remedy. Have an itchy throat, instead of shoving your HT antenna down there to scratch it, you can relieve that itch by A, dancing, B, massaging your earlobe, or C, carefully swallowing a bottle brush. Which of those is correct, Patrick?
I'm gonna go with B, Bravo. KI7LAG, back to net.
Now, if you're a sword swallower, the bottle brush will work if you're careful, but you're probably not. And yeah, most people just massage their earlobe. Yeah, that's correct. Your fingers cause a reflex action in your throat, relieving the itch. So, yeah, I didn't know that. Thank you, Patrick. Stephanie and Larry in Elk Grove, California, KN6JLW, KN6JLX. All right, guys, which animal best represents your personality?
Hey, Alex, this is Larry, KN6JLX, along with Stephanie, KN6JLW. I think I would be a rooster, and Stephanie would probably be a cat. She's pretty wily. Go ahead with our question.
A cat, you say? And you a rooster, huh? Hey, those two get along. You see them on farms a lot, so. Cat knows better to mess with the rooster and vice versa. All right, your question is, let's see. Researchers have been able to successfully potty train these animals in order to cut down on the pollution they generate. Would that be A, pigs, B, politicians, not to be confused with answer A, or C, cows? What do you say, guys? Yep, Stephanie pulled it out this time. It is cows. Yeah, they've been able to successfully potty train cows. They were able to train 11 out of 16 calves to use a latrine. And as you know, the word latrine is appropriate in this case, since cattle farms are pretty much like concentration camps. Thanks. Yeah, I know. A little political, not too bad. Thanks, guys. Scott in Houston, N7 FGP. Scott, which animal best fits your personality?
Well, good evening there, Alex and Vicky. Thanks for doing the net. I was thinking, bear, lion, or something, but I said, well, let me look on the internet, and I'll take a test. So I got lost. The animal that best matches my personality is a sloth, because I'm very caring, peaceful, and easygoing. And there's nothing that brings me greater joy than sleeping all day. So, that's it. I'm ready for a question.
Scott, you don't hold your poop for a week, do you? Before you can get down the tree and... probably not. Never mind. Forget it. Actually, they had the best part of the movie, Zootopia, I thought. Your question is, women with rheumatoid arthritis can often make the pain go away by A, getting pregnant, B, taking yoga classes, or C, making love with their husband every day. What works, Scott?
I'm going to try C. Let's do that. Everybody have a good night. N7FGP.
Of course, that's the correct answer. Make love with your husband every day, and that arthritis pain, well, no, not really. It's A, get pregnant. Of course, if you do see a lot, then you probably will get pregnant. Yeah. Anyway, researchers don't know why, but women report their arthritis pain goes away while they're pregnant. Of course. Your feet grow, but, you lose the arthritis. Thank you, Scott. This is W7FTM in Scottsdale, Arizona, and going next to Victoria in Phoenix. Hey, Victoria, KK7, AVK. All right, which animal best represents your personality? If it's a cat, it's probably both.
Good evening, Alex. This is Victoria, KK7AVK. Yep, that was the first animal that I thought of. That would be a cat. Waiting for the question.
Well, you certainly know how to paint them. It's gorgeous, those two cats that you... Anyway. Your question is... Okay, modern English. Snapchat dysmorphia. A, being unable to engage in a face-to-face conversation for more than 10 seconds. B, taking a photo of your girlfriend or boyfriend, morphing it into even a more hideous-looking creature, and posting it online. Or is it C, people who seek surgery in order to appear like they do with their social media filters on? What is Snapchat dysmorphia?
Wow, I have not heard of that. I'm gonna go with Charlie because I've seen these people that go through extreme surgery to look in a certain way. Let's try Charlie. Thanks, Alex. Have a great evening. KK7AVK, back to net.
Yeah, that would be it. Yep, Snapchat dysmorphia. People who seek surgery in order to appear like they do with their social media filters on. I've never heard of it either. Although I'm scheduled to go in a couple weeks. But anyway, yeah, it's... yeah. Okay, thank you, Victoria. Brian in Monticello, Kentucky, AC4BR. All right, which animal best represents your personality?
Good evening, Alex, and the rest of the net. I'm gonna, go a little more specific than just saying cat. I'll say tomcat, just because I prefer to be alone most of the time and not a huge people person, and I don't like being wet. So, yeah, I'm gonna go with tomcat.
Yeah, they wrote a song about that. Tomcat Shuffle, Tomcat. Anyway, there's a few songs. All right, Brian, your question is, okay, more modern English for you. Modern English. Paleocord. It's P-A-L-E-O-C-O-R-D. Paleocord. A newly discovered dinosaur that was several feet in length but only 2 inches wide. B, an outdated musical chord that was often used by early rock bands like Creedence Clearwater Revival. My guess is C major on that. Or C, an old outdated computer cable. Let's say paleo chord.
Well, I would guess it's B, as in Bravo. Can't say I've heard it before, but that's my guess. I'm going to turn it back to you, AC4BR.
Oh, Brian, bad mood rising. Actually, it's C, yeah. C, it's not C major, but C. An old, outdated computer cable. That's a paleo cord, and no, I hadn't heard of it either, so... Yeah, well, you know, my grandson asked me what the 70s were like, so I turned the Wi-Fi off and took away his smartphone. He wasn't happy, so... Thank you, Brian. Rich, in Meadow Lakes, Alaska, KO4RCS. All right, which animal do you best represent your personality? Come on, grizzly bear? Polar bear? Which is it, Rich?
Good evening. Can you hear me, Alex?
Hey, you're sounding better than a lot of the connections tonight. Go ahead.
All right, KO4RCS, Rich, Meadow Lakes, Alaska. I can't get through on my All-Star. I'm on the Echo Link. Both my All-Star nodes won't come through. But I'm here. Boy, I guess, yeah, let's go with the grizzly bear, I guess. No, I'm actually more like a puppy. Or a dog, because, you know, they're smart and they give you lots of attention. They do what you ask of them. They're very loyal. Yeah, that sounds like me. Back to you, Alex.
Okay, Rich, I met you, and you look like a grizzly bear, but yeah, your personality is like, not the grizzly type. I don't think he'd throw me out of a bar through the door like that one grizzly bear did. Never mind. Your question is, hey, Rich, you get the weird news trivia story of the week. Didn't you get that last time? It's just the way it came up. Weird news trivia story of the week. Which of the following headlines was an actual news story from last week? A. Walmart hit with civil penalties after shipping toy guns to liberal state. B. Local furniture closes after 48 years going out of business sale. Or C. Doctor treats depression by prescribing cigarettes and six-pack of beer. Which of those is right, Rich?
Boy, oh boy, I tell you what, I really hope it's Bravo tonight there, Alex. That sounds like the safest bet to me. Hey, thanks for doing the net. Glad I could be part of it. KL4RCS, Meadow Lakes, Alaska. Take care, Alex.
No, that furniture store is still going out of business, and unfortunately, it's not C either, so it's A. The headline was Walmart hit with civil penalties after shipping toy guns to liberal state. It seems Walmart agreed to a settlement with New York officials, New York of course, after it shipped toy guns to the state. Authorities determined the world's largest retailer facilitated the sale of realistic-looking toy guns to residents in violation of state law. An investigation conducted by New York's Office for the Attorney General found that third-party vendors on Walmart's online platform sold the imitation firearms. You know, when I was a young lad, I had a toy gun. It was called a Johnny 7 one-man army grenade, and it had a grenade launcher and all kinds of... It was a plastic gun, but it looked fairly realistic, and if I were to walk down the streets of New York with one of those, they'd call the SWAT team. Thanks, Rich. John in Buffalo, KE2, FCA. Hey, John. Which animal do you think best represents your personality?
Hi, Alex. Looking forward to this net every week, and every week it gets a little better, so thank you for doing this. I'm going to go with a mule. I not only carry a lot of things in my back for many different things, but I'm also pretty stubborn. So I'm ready for my question.
Yeah, that's a good one, a mule. Yeah. My wife's called me a jackass before, but never a mule. I don't know why. You're... Okay, John. This is a doozy. In a questionable advertising move a few years ago, Burger King released the Pride Whopper to celebrate Pride Month. Did you know it's Pride Month? The ad for this Pride Whopper featured A Whopper that promised 2 equal buns, both of them being bottom buns. B, the Burger King mascot showing off his Pride Whopper. Or C, the catchy rap song, Have It Your Way, but give it to me, I want it. Now, believe it or not, John, one of those answers is correct. What do you think?
Forgot to mention also, when you had that question about the shopping malls and you brought up the Pall Mall answer, that reminded me of my grandfather for some reason. Could be something he smoked. But anyway, yeah, for the question there, I have no idea. And all three are probably unbelievably possible. So I'm just going to throw a dart and go with B, Bravo.
Well, you're right about Pall Mall. That is where the cigarette name came from, too. You know, it's also from British and Pall Mall. And now this one, I know, I couldn't believe any of these. But believe it or not, it's back in 2012 or 2022, Burger King released the Pride Whopper, and the ad that featured it showed 2 equal buns, both of them being the bottom buns. And, well, yeah, that was a little too much for people, and they pulled that ad pretty quick, so to speak. Thank you, John. Fred in Reno, KK7OGC, and thanks. Hope to hear you next Saturday, Fred. Sorry about that question. Or John. Fred, Reno, KK7OGC. Which animal represents your personality?
Hey, Alex and Vicky and everyone on the net. Well, I was born a ram, but I associate with a cat. And I had 2 until now, and I'm still a cat. Back to you, Alex, KK7OGC.
It looks like the year of the cat tonight. Sorry. Your question is, just about every sci-fi movie or television show over the past 50 years, well, maybe 40 years, features a scene where a spaceship under attack tries to hide inside a nebula. The problem is, A, energy-based weapons would ignite the hydrogen in the nebula, destroying every vessel within 5 parsecs, as every Star Trek nerd knows. B, nebulas are extremely thin when you get close to them and wouldn't be able to hide a spaceship. Or C, if men were meant to fly, God would have given them wings. No, if man were meant to fly, God would have given him wings. Yeah, there we are. Like my grandma used to say, what do you think, Fred?
Well, as convincing as you tried to make A was, I'm going to go with Bravo on that one, Alex. KK7OGC, Fred in Reno, back to net.
Yeah, you're right. It's nebulas are extremely thin when you get close to them. You wouldn't be able to hide a spaceship. Now they look impressive from 5 parsecs away, but when you get right up to them, all you see is space. So if you're going to hide in the nebula, you might as well be hiding behind a corn stalk when somebody's shooting at you. It wouldn't do any good. Thanks. Thank you, Fred. This is W7FT. I'm listening to the Saturday Night Trivia Net on the East Coast Reflector, and we're going to Ray and Cody, Wyoming. KJ7RVB. Okay, which animal best represents your personality, Ray? I almost called you Cody, Ray.
Evening, Alex, everyone on the web. I identify with German Shepherds, but my God, I really want to be a sloth.
Where's my question, sir?
No, we allow identifying with other animals here. That's the latest thing. So we'll give you the German Shepherd you said first. So I'll get you down for that. Your question is, in 1894, Thomas Edison was the first person to record this now popular YouTube meme. A, people tripping and falling. B, politicians lying. Or C, cats acting like humans.
That's going to be Charlie. He did entered the Vitascope with cats playing, motion picture. Good evening, sir.
Yep, that is exactly correct. Yeah, the cats had these little boxing gloves on their front paws, and they were slapping at each other, and it's pretty funny. It goes way back. So you guys on YouTube, quit posting the cat videos. There's so many. Thanks. Bob in Sylvania, Ohio, WD8PIC. Bob. All right, which animal best represents your personality?
Well, I love dogs, so I'm going to say that. And I'm glad I hung in here on the net. In the beginning, this was breaking up so bad, I didn't think I was going to be able to do it, but either people did something or it cured on its own. So, ready for a question.
Yeah, thanks for sticking out, Bob. We appreciate that. Glad to have you on the net. And your question is, that the buzzing sound effect that a lightsaber makes in the Star Wars movies was created by a famous sound effects actor, Michael Winslow, who does that a lot better than I do, billed as the man of 10,000 sound effects for his ability to make realistic sounds using only his voice. Was it created by B, a broken tape recorder microphone next to a CRT television set? Or C, feedback from placing an electric razor next to a guitar amp? What makes that sound of the lightsaber in the Star Wars movies, Bob?
I have zero idea. I'm going to say A, just because I don't know. All three of them would be a guess, so I have no idea. And by the way, I've got two different repeaters here, Ben's and Jerry's, and they were both doing the same thing. So, but I stuck it out, and it got better as time went on.
Yeah, they came together, and of course they started out making bagels, right? Anyway, you're now it's the sound effect. Don't worry, Bob. Nobody knows this. It's a broken tape recorder microphone next to a CRT television set. Star Wars sound engineer Ben Burt was carrying a tape recorder, and when he walked past the TV and heard the noise, he thought the weird but distinctive buzz would be perfect for the lightsaber sound. And who can argue with success, I guess. Thanks. Thanks, Bob. Let's go to Luis in Bronx. In the Bronx, K2AUM. Luis, which animal do you think best represents your personalities? Just kidding, Luis. I didn't mean to imply you had multiple personalities. K2AUM. Are you there? And his other personality was taking a break. We'll try him again later. Kevin in Anaheim, AJ6EE. Which animal best represents your personality?
Good evening, Alex and the net. I had to think about that one. I remember I liked Catwoman in the original Batman when I was a kid. I never wanted to. Don't get me wrong, I didn't want to be her. Just like looking at her. I would say a crow or a raven. Let's go with the raven. They're smart. They socialize. They learn things. They use things as tools. That's the best I could come up with.
And you're right on that. Yeah, the ravens and crows are just incredibly smart. And I know I pointed this out before, but if you get on the bad side of a crow or raven, they'll remember you and they'll give you a hard time and have their offspring and teach their offspring to also dive bomb you and give you a hard time. All right, Kevin, your question is, where does the NASA T-minus countdown used for launching rockets come from? Where'd they get that from? A, the 1929 silent film, Woman in the Moon. B, Nazi Germany, where it was used to launch V-2 rockets. Or C, the Buck Rogers in the 25th Century radio program from the 1940s. That's a tough one, Kevin. Any of those could be true. What say you?
Well, I don't really know. I am not a rocket scientist, but I may have gotten one of my cars back in the day near Max Q. Not really. It's kind of a weird rocket joke. I would say, since a lot of rocket technology came from Germany, it's probably more along the lines of B. Thanks, Alex.
Yep, that's why I put that in there too, because it was the most believable. Now it's, and believe it or not, it comes from the T-minus countdown used at NASA for launching rockets. Comes from the 1929 silent film, Woman in the Moon. They first did it there, and the Germans probably did that and copied it, but nonetheless, that's where it comes from, buddy. Thanks. Thank you, Kevin. Let's go to Richard, Leesburg, Florida, KR4DRD via the text line. Richard, which animal do you think best represents your personality? KR4DRD, Richard in Florida, or any call sign close to that if I got it wrong. You're up. That's okay. We're coming to the end here pretty soon. We'll make the call for more check-ins, so we'll give you an in and out. And let's go to Harold in Hillsboro, Oregon, KC7ZZB. Harold, animal best represents your personality. Good thing, Morgan. KC7ZZB. Harold in Hillsboro, Oregon. Are they doing above ground testing again? There was an earthquake in Nevada a couple days ago that was there for a while, and it just disappeared from the USGS site, right? So, all right, we'll check in later. Annette, Twin Falls, Idaho. Oh, Annette, we finally got up to you. KK7YBP. Which animal do you think best represents your personality? Annette in Twin Falls, Idaho, KK7YBP. All right then, Steve, Houston, Texas, N5ZUA. Now, I know he's on the air because he could rig his own connection up without any problems. You know that guy that hid in his basement, Freddy, in the movie Die Hard, 4 or 5. Anyway, Steve, are you there?
Let me check. Yes, I'm here, Alex. Good evening, Steve. In Albuquerque tonight, actually. A little closer to you. Well, probably more than halfway closer to you from home, working up here for a couple of weeks. Anyway, that's easy. The answer to your question would be the squirrel, because I'm always trying to find new places to hide my nuts. I think the cashews are underneath the driver's seat of the pickup. Oh, and my question for you, Alex, is do nebulas come from nebulizers? But go ahead with your question.
I usually breathe okay, and thank you, Steve. Yeah, glad you could make it. Albuquerque, huh? God, am I going to have to move again? All right, your question, let's see. This woman is considered the most prolific clapper in history. Yep, somebody actually researched that. A, Vanna White, B, Kamala Harris, or C, Madonna. Who's the most prolific clapper in history?
Clap off. Let's go with C, N5ZUA. Thanks.
Yeah, different kind of clap. As Vanna White is the most prolific clapper in history. The Wheel of Fortune game show model was clocked by Guinness at nearly 4 million claps over 32 seasons, with an average of 606 claps per show. They actually did research on that. I know, amazing, isn't it? Thank you, Steve. Teresa, College Station, Texas, KU5MUX. Hello, Teresa. Which animal best represents your personality? That's kind of a spiritual question for you. What's your spirit animal?
Oh, spirit animal, I don't know, but I think probably the animal that best represents me is a raccoon. Got dark circles under my eyes, around my eyes, like to eat junk food, kind of cute, kind of chubby. You know, like to eat junk food. I'll fight you if I'm provoked. Anyway, what's your question?
I got video, about several videos now of one in my backyard that keeps coming around, and I know you shouldn't feed the wild animals, but I put some grapes out there for them every now and then. That's like a raccoon nirvana. You know, it's, anyway. Your question is, this has, on average, 400 times more bacteria than a toilet. A, an office desk, B, a light switch, or C, Madonna.
Well, I'm not going to doubt that C might be correct as well, but I'm going to go with Bravo. Thank you for doing the net. 730 KE5MUX.
Now, that's what I thought, because the light switch, everybody's sitting all the time. Now, it's an office desk. Yeah, people don't clean their office desks, apparently, and, yeah, well, men don't. I don't know if women do. Anyway, 400 times more bacteria than a toilet and office desk, so don't eat at your desk. Thank you. Thanks, Teresa. This is W7FTM, Scottsdale, Arizona, along with Vicky, K8VKY. You're listening to the Saturday Night Trivia Net on the East Coast Reflector, and we're going to the last one on this list, James in Spring, Texas, AA5JW. Here's the text line, James, which animal best fits your personality?
Well, good evening, Alex and Vicky. Thank y'all for running the net tonight. This is Alpha Alpha 5 Juliet Whiskey James in Spring. And that's a good question. I'm going to go with the zebra because the zebra's my spirit animal. It's got a lot of mystique to it, and it's like a fancy horse. What kind of question do you got for me tonight, Alex?
Yeah, they're like an ornery horse, but they're, like you said, very independent, so screw that bridle and help stuff with them. Doesn't work. Hey, James, your question is, what is the 27 Club? The 27 Club. A, a notorious discotheque in New York City that was closed over drug use. B, the age that many famous rock musicians tend to die over drug use. Or C, the largest club you're allowed to use as a driver in a game of golf. What's a 27 Club?
Ooh, that's a tough one, Alex. But man, that's, I know it's not the golf club, obviously. And I know you've got a taste for the macabre, so I'm going to go with B, but I really don't know. It's just a wild guess. Thanks for running the net. Good hearing everybody out there tonight, and we'll catch y'all next week in 73AA5JW. Back to net.
Thank you, James, and don't torture yourself. It's my job. You're correct. Yeah, the 27 Club is the age that many famous rock musicians tend to die. Not all from drug overdoses, but, yeah, many. Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin, Jim Morrison, Brian Jones of the Rolling Stones, who was probably murdered, Amy Winehouse, and Kurt Cobain, also probably murdered. But nonetheless, they're all 27, so may they rest in peace. Take more check-ins for the Saturday Night Trivia Net. Full call sign, phonetically twice, please.
Kilo Juliet 5, Bravo Lima Victor. Kilo Juliet 5, Bravo Lima Victor, Gerardo, Pasadena, Texas. Kilo 4, Romeo, Charlie, Echo. November 4, Romeo, Charlie, Romeo. Hill is in the Florida.
Currently in Alabama.
Whiskey 9 Delta Whiskey Hotel. Whiskey 9 Delta Whiskey Hotel. Kilo India 5 Whiskey Uniform. Kilo India 5 Whiskey Uniform.
Okay, looks like, 6 more people checked in. We have Gerardo in Pasadena, Texas, KJ5BLV. Have Gilbert in Dunedin, Florida, KQ4ICR. Roger in Fort Lauderdale, N4RHE. Boyce in Surprise, well, I think he's back in Surprise. K4BBR, David, Owensboro, Kentucky, W9DWH, and Lynn in Houston, KI5WWU. Anybody else that I may have missed? I want to check in. Full call sign phonetically twice, please.
Oh, Charlie 7, Zulu, Bravo. Kilo, Charlie 7, Zulu, Bravo. Kilo, Mike 4, Tango, Charlie. Kilo, Mike 4, Tango, Charlie. Florence, North Carolina.
Kilo Juliet 5, Juliet, November, Juliet. Kilo Juliet 5, Juliet, November, Juliet.
Okay, let's hold up there. We have also checking in. Let's see, K5WW, Lynn in Houston, KC7 ZZP, Harold in Hillsboro, welcome back. KM4TC, Terry in Four Oaks, North Carolina. KG5, J&J, Justin and Colorado. There's one other station out there I didn't quite get. Try it again, please.
Kilo Alpha 2 Yankee. Kilo Alpha 2 Yankee. Rochester, New York.
All right, Carlton, got you that time. All right, to the top. The question of the night, which animal do you think best represents your personality? Gerardo in Pasadena at KJ5BLV, what say you?
Good evening, Alex, and everyone else on the net. Gerardo, KJ5, Bravo Lima Victor. Thought about this, and I guess I would be a bald eagle, because I'm partially bald, and if I'm a bald eagle, I would be protected. So, there you are. I'm ready for my question, Alex. Thank you so much.
Hey, no problem, Gerardo. Just to do the comb over like the rest of us do. Anyway, your question is, President Reagan set his daily schedule by first consulting with A, the chimpanzee before bedtime, B, Speaker of the House Tip O'Neill, not to be confused with answer A, or C, astrologer Joan Quigley. Who did he consult with before he set his daily schedule, Mr. Reagan?
Okay, KJ5, Bravo Lima Victor. I'm gonna go with C as in Charlie. I think I remember that being in the news back in the 80s. Under the encouragement of his wife, he would consult an astrologer. And so that's my answer, C as in Charlie. Thank you so much, Alex. KJ5, Bravo Lima Victor. Be clear and listening. Thank you so much.
And Gerardo, you are correct. Yeah, Reagan used to set his schedule by first consulting with his astrologer, Joan Quigley. Now, some of you may laugh at that, but keep in mind, Reagan was one of the most successful and well-liked presidents of the 20th century. Just saying. Gilbert, Dunedin, Florida, K4 and Bending, Florida. Which animal best represents your personality?
This is KQ4 ICR Gill in Dunedin. I'm going to say a polar bear. It's kind of a solitary existence. In the last few years, that's been me. So, I'm ready for my question.
Got you down for the polar bar. Your question is... Oh, this is Jeopardy style. You ready? Okay. The answer is 34%. What's the question? A, what percentage of U.S. Congress members are alcoholics? B, what percentage of the population consider themselves atheists? Or C, what percentage of adults sleep with a soft, furry toy? What do you think, Cumber?
B. Just a complete guess. Appreciate it. 73, everybody.
Wouldn't you know, Bill, it dropped out right when you gave your answer. Try it again.
D. Bravo. Thanks for the net.
Got you down. Actually, I don't know how many people consider themselves atheists, but I know it's lower than that. It's like 10% or 15 or something like that. It's 34% is C. What percentage of adults sleep with a soft, furry toy? Yep, that's true. A professor at the university that conducted the study said it was more common with women than with men. And as Vicky pointed out, there's a lot of us furry guys, toys. Thank you, Gilbert. Roger, Fort Lauderdale, N4RHE. Which animal best represents your personality?
Good evening, Alex and clever cousin Vicky. November 4, Romeo Hotel Echo. I am a bad hombre, a dangerous foe. So I'll go with the deadliest animal on the planet, the mosquito. Ready for my question, Alex?
Hey, you better be careful there, Roger. The SWAT team may come to your house. Your question is, okay, now I didn't know this one, so this would be a total crapshoot for me. The least visited national park in America, the least visited, is A, the gates of the Arctic in Alaska, B, Devil's Monument in Wyoming, or C, the world's largest ball of twine in Hutchinson, Kansas. What's the least visited national park in America?
Alex, I'm one of those fellas that wear green, so I don't have to worry about that. I presume it'd be the ball of twine. I didn't know that was a national monument. November 4, Roger. I'm enthusiast. Return to net.
Well, you're correct in that it's not a national monument, so it didn't really count, but it's a funny answer anyway. It's the least visited national park in America is A, the gates of the Arctic in Alaska. Yeah. It's a massive 8 million acre expanse. That's bigger than the Grand Canyon. Right in the middle of the Alaskan wilderness. It's entirely above the Arctic Circle and is completely devoid of roads or even trails. So, yeah, it's like they're trying to make it hard to visit. The park gets about 7,000 visitors per year, nonetheless, in comparison with the Grand Canyon, which gets 4.5 million visitors a year. And believe me, I used to live in Flagstaff, and every time a relative would come over from out of state, we'd take them to the Grand Canyon, because everybody wanted to see it. That's understandable. Thanks. Thank you, Roger. W7FTM in Scotts, Arizona, going next to Boyce in Surprise, Arizona. K4 BBR. Welcome back, Boyce. Which animal do you think best represents your personality?
Good evening from K4BBR, currently in Alabama. I'm going to say the fox because generally people tell me I'm kind of quiet, and as far as I know, foxes are quiet. I mean, who knows what the fox says, right? So, yeah, I guess that's it, and give me a question.
The fox says, oh, I forgot what the CNC said. Okay, Boyce in Alabama, your question is, I could do this question once a year in the interest of safety, okay? But you probably haven't heard it yet. Your car is stalled on a railroad track and a train is coming. You should A, abandon your vehicle and run in the opposite direction that the train is traveling. B, abandon your vehicle and run in the same direction the train is traveling. Or C, call 911 and stay put until help arrives. What do you do, boys?
Well, there's a lot of funny things you could say there, but I'm going to go with A and just get out of the car and go in whatever direction you can possibly go in. And so A Alpha, K4 VBR.
Very good, boys. You will survive a train run into your car if you get stalled on the tracks. Yeah, abandon your vehicle and run in the opposite direction, not the same direction, but the opposite direction the train is traveling. This will prevent you from being hit by the debris from your car that's being smashed to pieces. So, yeah. Which kind of reminds me, my wife crashed the car again last week. She told the police that the man she collided with was on his mobile phone and drinking a can of beer. And the police told her that he can do whatever he wants inside his own living room, so it didn't help. Thanks, boys. David, Owensboro, Kentucky, W9BWH, welcome back. Which animal do you think best represents your personality?
Good evening, Alex, and everyone on the net. I'm obviously a bat because Lord knows I got enough flying loose in the belfry. And on the days whenever I'm driving at night and it's raining, I'm about as blind as one.
Thank you, David. Yeah, I saw your bat photo. That's pretty cool. All right, your question is, okay, speaking of animals, a fossa, F-O-S-S-A, is an animal that lives on the island of Madagascar. And it looks like A, cat, B, bug, or C, both A and B are correct.
I guess I should have paid more attention to the Madagascar movie. I will go on a limb and say C, Charlie. Thanks for running the net, Alex. I'll catch you next week. W9, Diddy Bitch.
Yep, look up a picture of this animal. It's amazing, F-O-S-S-A. Both A and B are correct. It has the body of a cat and the head of a small dog, and looks like some kind of exotic cat, only with a dog's head. Anyway, it's an interesting animal. Thank you, David. Let's go to Lynn in Houston, KI5WWU. Which animal do you think best represents your personality, Lynn?
And always entertaining net. KI5WWU, Lynn in Houston. Well, I'm recently retired and I would prefer to be a sloth. I think my ex-wives and ex-employers would probably say Chihuahua. Back to you, sir.
Okay, you're always alerting people to danger, so there's no problem with that. Your correction, your question, man, is, okay, scientists have discovered that people with this eye color are more tolerant to the effects of alcohol, and therefore the most likely to become alcoholics. A, blue, B, brown, or C, bloodshot.
I will go with B, Bravo Brown. Thanks for running the net. Back to you, sir. KI5WWU.
Oh no, Lynn, we handle our liquor just fine. That's brown-eyed people. It's the blue-eyed people, A, that have the trouble. Actually, they're more tolerant of the effects, so they can drink a lot more, which leads to the alcoholism. If I drink more than 2 or 3, whatever beers I don't want to drink them. So yeah, it's blue-eyed people. That's kind of odd. I guess again they researched that too. Thanks, Lynn. Harold in Hillsboro, Oregon. KC7ZZB, glad you can make it back. Which animal do you think best represents your personality, Harold?
Alex and everybody else, Kilo Charlie 7 Zulu Bravo, Al in Hillsboro. And I think I would be best suited to be a wolverine, a fairly solitary animal, left alone, but when messed with, gets very ferocious and volatile. I'm ready for my question, I think.
Yeah, I don't want to mess with the Wolverine. I saw a nature video one time of a Wolverine. He was climbing up a pile of sticks or whatever out in the forest, and he was trying to reach to get something in a tree, and he slipped and fell, hit the ground. And so he got back up in the sticks again and intentionally slipped and fell to make it look like he did it on purpose. Now that takes intelligence. So your question is, okay, another Jeopardy style question. The answer is 4. The answer is 4. What's the question? A, how many countries in the world have a one-syllable name? B, how many password login attempts is the average person allowed before their computer locks them out? Or C, how many honest politicians are in Washington? What do you think, Earl?
As much as I would like to say C, I believe the answer is actually B as in Bravo. KC7ZZB. Have a good night, Alex.
Yeah, as you know, 4 is way too high a number for answer C. But no, it's A. It's A, actually. Yeah, your login attempts. I think they give you more than 4, but I think anyway, it's A. How many countries in the world have a one-syllable name? And that's France, Greece, Spain, and Chad. That's it. Wales doesn't count because it's part of the United Kingdom, and Laos changed its name to Lao People's Democratic, so they're no longer just one syllable. So that's it. France, Greece, Spain, and Chad. Thanks. Thanks for playing. Earl Terry in Four Oaks, North Carolina, KM4TC. Which animal best represents your personality?
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I would like to change that. I would like to edit my profile so I could be called Van, Victor Alpha November. But I hadn't figured it out yet. And I'm enjoying the net. I really enjoyed it. Sitting here about to fall asleep, though. It's getting late. But man, I have enjoyed it so much. And I will just turn it back over to you and let y'all keep on getting at it. KM4TC.
Hey, thanks, Terry. Your question is, in which movie did Humphrey Bogart, now here's your standard trivia question, in which movie did Humphrey Bogart play Charlie Allnut? Charlie Allnut. Was it A, Casablanca, B, The African Queen, or C, Treasure of the Sierra Madre? What do you think?
I absolutely love the African Queen. I've seen that several times. I don't know, I can't put it all together, but I love the African Queen. That's a great movie. But other than that, I can't tell you. Thank you, KM4TC.
Yep, that's the one, The African Queen. Great movie, probably one of his best. He actually played that and acted his best, I thought, anyway. But of course, Katharine Hepburn in it. Okay, thanks, Terry. You got it. Carlton in Brighton, New York, K2Y. Welcome back. Which animal do you think best represents your personality? Looking for Carlton in Brighton, New York, KA2Y. Okay, almost to the end here. We have one more. Justin in Conroe, Texas. KJ5J&J. Justin, which animal do you think best represents your personality?
KJ5JNG. I do appreciate you doing the net, Alex. I always do it quite a bit. And I would say that the animal would be the tortoise. Slow and steady wins the race because I'm over. Everybody just drive crazy around me. And yeah, that's me.
You got it, Justin. Tortoise it is. And your question is, according to Buyer Advisor, which manufacturer is the best rated maker of wind chimes? Wind chimes in the U.S. See, everybody knows this one. Is it A, Corinthian wind chimes, B, Liberty Bell wind chimes, or C, Breaking wind chimes? What do you think, Justin?
K4QJC, K4QJC, good to know.
KJ5JNJ, back to next.
Yeah, go ahead, Justin. I missed your answer. What was it again?
JC, K4QJC, good to know.
Hang on there, Tim. We're trying to reach Justin, KJ5 at J&J. What was it again?
Good evening, fellas.
Well, I'm not sure what your answer was, but we'll give it to you. It's A, Corinthian wind chimes, the best rated maker of wind chimes in the U.S. And that is a really obscure question, but we do those every now and then. Thank you, Justin. All right, and finally we had Timothy in New Orleans. I believe it is K4TJC. Did you get the question of the night?
I saw it. We were down to, really not to procure what we're speaking about. I just turned the radio on.
That's all right, Tim. Neither am I. You're connected to the East Coast Reflector Trivia Net. We do trivia questions here. We'll go ahead and we'll leave you on the list, but we're going to go ahead and call for other check-ins right now, and we'll get back to you. And just so your call sign out and check in, but we already have you down, so I'll get to you in a minute. Looking for more check-ins, so call sign phonetically twice, please.
Good, I'll be monitoring.
Whiskey Kilo 3 Alpha Whiskey Alpha. Whiskey Kilo 3 Alpha Whiskey Alpha.
Whiskey 6, India Delta Kilo. Nothing for the net, just be listening on the side.
Kilo 7 Echo, Lima, Papa. Listening to the net.
Okay then, hold up a second. We have K4 TJC, Timothy, New Orleans, checked in. VK3AWA, Daryl in Paradise Beach, Australia. Thanks for checking in. W6DIK was in and out, and KK7ELP, Roy in Lakewood, Washington. Did you want a question, or were you in and out?
In and out tonight. I'm mobile, going through Portland right now, so I don't know how much longer I'm going to have you. KK7ELP, back to you.
Yeah, no problem, Roy. We'll give you an in and out. All right, let's go back to the top. The question of the night: which animal do you think best represents your personality? Tim in New Orleans, K4 TJC.
I'm here for a little while. That's it. I appreciate it.
Okay, we'll give you an in and out. Thanks for stopping by. Daryl in Paradise Beach, Australia, VK3AWA. Welcome back, buddy. Which animal best represents your personality?
Good afternoon, Alex, Vicky, and listeners. A fairly large bird called a bowerbird. The bowerbird is a ground inhabitant, and the male builds a nest on the ground and adorns the nest with pretty things. So I'm guessing, and the nest is called a bower, so that's why it's called a bowerbird. I equate this to my hand shack, which would be the bower, and all the pretty things in it. And people often do often call me a bowerbird. Back to you, Alex.
And thank you for that, Daryl. And your question is, His Holiness the Dalai Lama has a hobby. Is it A, amateur radio, B, repairing watches, or C, breeding llamas? What does he do?
I'm going to go with B, Alex. I was hoping for a baseball question.
I couldn't fool you with that one, huh? Yeah, he repairs watches. He's actually very good at it. That's his hobby. He repairs watches. So thanks, Earl. I'm glad you could join us, buddy. All right, so W7FTM in Scottsdale, Arizona. We're down at the bottom of the list, taking more check-ins. Full call sign phonetically twice, please. One final call. Full call sign phonetically twice, please, for the SWL ECR Trivia Net. Okay, the crickets have spoken. Let me show my window here. See how we did tonight. people, 45 people checked in, and let's see, of those, wow, an even split. Of those who answered questions, 19 people got their questions correct, and 19 people missed their questions. Very rare to get a split that even. And as far as the question of the night, which animal do you think best represents your personality? It looks like the cats took the lead with this one. We had, about 18% cats, and, well, about everything else thrown in there. I think bulls may have been second, but anyway, we'll figure that out later. Anyway, we'd like to thank everybody who participated tonight, with special thanks, of course, to Vicky, KH, for logging the net, and N70KN for use of his Mesa repeater, even though it's down right now, but he'll be back. We now return control of the ECR back to you until next week at the same time, when the control voice will take you to the Saturday Night Trivia Net. 7:30, good night, W7, FTM Clear.
Thanks once again, Alex and Vicky. Great net tonight. And now Baxter and Brent will say bye-bye and bye-bonds. 73. KF6HDJ. See you next week.
KK7HLD. Thank you very much, Alex, and your lovely logger. Another great net. See you next week. Great net. I know I'm late checking in. I'm about to fall asleep here. I've really enjoyed it, and it's good to hear you guys on. We'll catch you tomorrow or sometime later on in the week. JM436.
Usually,
U0EK0TXW. How you doing, darling? How you doing on that Eastern Reflector?
I don't see any East Coast stations out here.
Oh, I guess that sounds like a challenge, young lady. That sounds like a challenge, Pilgrim. I don't know if we have anybody on the Eastern Reflector that can do a demonstration. Kilo Alpha Zero, Tango X-Ray Whiskey with Kilo Uniform Zero Echo. KU0E, Denver, Colorado.
I'll go for it. W7FDM, Phoenix, Arizona.
I'm going to have to turn you over to a very advanced young lady of 10 years old. And I am going to have the honor and pleasure of introducing you to Temperance. And yes, her name fits her. We'll go with that. Handle here is Jerry, and we also have Bill over here. Kilo Uniform Zero Echo, Kilo Alpha Zero Tango X-Ray Whiskey, which is me. I'm a novice, but we got Bill here, and we've got this Temperance. She's a pistol, and I'm here to tell you that she's probably going to end up being an extra class ham radio operator by the end of the weekend if we don't let her loose on this radio real quick. But I'm going to let her say hi to you. Here she is. So I'm going to hand you the mic. And Temperance, you're going to introduce yourself, and he'll introduce him. He's in Phoenix, Arizona. Here he is. I'm going to hand you the mic. Temperance, it's all you.
Really, hi, my name is Temperance. I am 10 years old. I am 5'8".
Go ahead.
And I live in Thornton, Colorado. I am out. 685 Bel Place. Where are you? I've done radio stuff before.
Oh, Temperance, my name is Alex, and I'm in, actually Scottsdale, Arizona, which is real close to Phoenix. Well, 5'8". I don't think my daughter was that tall when she was your age, but that's very interesting. What do you think of amateur radio so far?
Well, I have very, very tall grandparents. What does say that?
You got ham radio so far?
Yeah, I do. I had a hand radio I was given. I was 15.
Now, I might add, Alex, that she probably bootlegged on that ham radio for a couple of years at the age of 6. And nobody even knew she was an extra class until they found out she didn't take it at all. Now we're going to have to discipline her. She's a disciplinary kid, but she's a good one. So we're going to get her on here and get her FCC ticket, right, Temperance?
Right.
All right, big time. So go ahead, Alex.
Also, Alex, I have a brother-in-law named Alex and a best friend named Phoenix, too.
Yeah, we pretty much know all the Alexes out here. That's actually not that common a name, but maybe I know them. I might not. Anyway, it's well, good. I'm glad you have a lot of experience, I see, in amateur radio. So yeah, it shouldn't be any problem whatsoever. You'd like to have more young people on the air, I'm sure you know, and so you would be very welcome. And there's all kinds of groups, activities, and nets you can check into. The youth net, of course, on Friday night is a good place to start. And back to you.
I have to tell you, there was another person on the ham radio, and they were like, cuts, left and right. I terrified the heck out of them. I was like, hello, I can hear every single word you say. I did that to 2 people and they shut up immediately. And there was another person, there's a whole group of like 3 or 4 guys. They're like, yes ma'am. Yes.
They were all Air Force ducks, for sure.
And it was hilarious. And we were at KFC when that happened.
You're not the light issue,
And right now, from where I live right now, you can see the bright moon and the stars above us.
Oh yeah, that reminds me. I had to take the telescope out before it gets too warm out here. It's up over 100 degrees in the daytime, so but at night it's still cold. You know, the humidity's been down, so we're enjoying the nights anyway. So anyway, do you ever do any astronomy? Ever go out with binoculars or anything, look at the sky, or do you have other interests that occupy your time other than amateur radio, of course?
About space, there's about 200 trillion billion stars in the universe. Did you know that?
Yep, there's almost as many as people that check into the morning brew. So yeah, it's pretty close. And well, we can't see them all, but we can see the more interesting ones anyway that are closer.
Well, one crazy thing is I live with my grandpa in a very big yellow house. It's not hard to see from the air. I bet you that. I live in a 4-story technically, including the attic. 3-story, bright yellow house with brown shutters and a lovely yellow tinted porch light. And we have 1 black car and 1 gold truck. And then we have the moose duck. And he's in the world right. He's a moose, but he quacks. That's why we call him Moose Duck. And he's, say again?
I said, that's right. It's across the antlers. Hold it across the antlers.
But Temperance, you seem to have an ability to describe things in detail, which is unusual for young people these days. So it shows you pay attention, which is very, very important. So I'm glad to see that, and I think you'll do well, whatever you decide to take up, amateur radio or anything in school. So I wish you luck, and congratulations, by the way. And I have to check out here. I just did a pretty long net, and people probably tired of hearing my voice, so they probably hear your voice and everyone you're with there. So we'll catch you next time. Name's Alex, and we'll say 73W7FTM.
W7ATM. Hey, Julie. Yep. You know, nice talking to you, Alex. I'll probably key you up either. Laser, wow. I have speech problems. And a very short attention span in school.
In her defense, she was listening to an echo from my radio, and it's probably steering her clear, you know, how you try to talk with the delay there. So I was listening on the downlink that was her echoing through. We had some fire guys go through.
Hey, no problem, guys. I am actually more comprehensible with an echo in the background, so it's okay. Good talking to you, and like I said, no problem. Don't worry. The attention span gets better as you get older, so we'll catch you next time. At W7FDM will be clear. 7:30.
All right, there, W7MTM, K0EK0TXW in the group, and I'll go ahead and let Temperance go ahead and close it. And you have a good one, Alex. Thank you for the contact from Phoenix, Arizona, and the demonstration there. I'm sure she's probably going to have her extra class ticket. What? You can talk. I'm going to let go, and then you talk. Go ahead. I'm letting go, and Alex, all you go.
Hello, I have one question before you go. How hot can it get in Phoenix, Arizona? Because I've always wanted that, because that's where it gets to 103 years old. Not years old, temperature, sorry. Degrees. Moose Duck is telling me about this. And my corrections in my speech. I'll let you get out here, but I want to know how hot it is.
Oh, that's no problem. We, depending on the summers, and the last few have been pretty brutal, it can get up to 122 degrees. I think our record is 124. That was some years ago, and I was working outside during the time. That was when I was a younger man, but it close to 122. I think it's probably the record that we have on file anyway. So, yeah, it get pretty hot, so you might want to come out here in the wintertime if you do visit.
Thank you for telling me about that. And this echo, I hate it. Our record in Colorado, I think it's 98 degrees. This summer it's very cold. It's literally hailing during the night. And as hot as, like, you can see heat waves. It's that hot. Thanks for talking to me, Alex. I'll probably search up more things about the states. KU08 clear.
And thanks for the QSO, Timberns. Talk to you next time. W7FTM will be clear.
Take care of yourself, Alex. K0TXW over here on the north side from the Continental Divide, 7-3, all man.